to Iowa State as an undergrad and graduated in 1970. Came back to do some ceramic engineering grad studies in 75 or thereabouts. I'm from Ames. This is my hometown, so I've been around Ames and dealing with Ames, most of my life. I haven't lived here for almost 30 years, but Ames is still home. I've been an artist since my first show at the Iowa State Counseling Service when I was an undergrad. My first one-man show was in the Octagon in 1972. So I've worked as an artist essentially all my life. I've never done anything of this, with this material or of this scale or anything like that. So this is the first run through for this. Mostly what I've done for the last probably 20 years is build three-dimensional force perspective constructions that are all about perception. They're all about having, how people perceive the world. So there's a lot of trompe l'oeil, a lot of sleight of hand. Lately I've been getting into some 19th century magic tricks that are a lot of fun. So, the word is kind of moving all over the place. This is in that range of illusion in the sense that the image is very hard to read at first go. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so the first question is, where does this image come from? What was the inspiration for this? I've always liked fluid motion. There's something about this kind of diving into water, that kind of oceanic experience of diving into water that I've always loved. And when I was a kid, I learned how to swim basically on one day. I've been trying to learn how to swim, and I've been trying to float, and they told me I can float, but I always sank. But I read a book my mom brought home by Jacques Cousteau, where he talks about flying underwater with the scuba gear. So I took a big lungful of air, ducked underwater, kicked off, came up above the water, went back down, discovered that I could fly. And I've loved the water ever since. So that's kind of the feeling that I'm looking for with this artwork. The way it seems to be working, I'm also interested in trompe l'oeil and the way perception works and how perception kind of unfolds over time. What I'm finding here is that people walk by this and they take a look at the photograph of the actual full image that's on the wall over there, and they can't read it. They can't find the image. If you look at it from where you walk in the room here, it piles up. You can't tell what it is. If you look at it from across the way over there, it's all stretched out. You can't tell what it is. You have to go walk over along the sides here before you see the diving young woman going out of the water like this. I like that. I mean, the fun part is that once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I've heard people say, have you seen it? They're already asking each other, have you seen it yet? And people will look at it, will look at the photograph, and they'll go, I can't see it, I don't get it, they can't read it. And then they find it, and they can go, I've seen it. So that's where we are right now. So one of the things that we're thinking about here is how will students interact with this object, with this artwork. And the answer is that this is a play pool. This is a place where people are going to come and have a good time. There's a huge jacuzzi over here. There's a vortex tank. There's a diving board. There's places to sit. This is a very social place. And this will be a topic of conversation as long as the building's here. People will walk in and they'll say, I can't figure it out. And then somebody will say, no, if you walk over here, you can see it. So this is part of what's going to be fun about this place. I hope that the students walk in here and just have a blast. That's what the place is for. This is the first time I've done anything like this. I've never worked in tile. I've never made an image anything like the scale of this. So I'm kind of off into new territory for myself here. Where this started from was a photograph of a young friend of mine diving into a pool against a dark background. We had some friends of mine rented a house in Nantucket with a pool, and we were all diving in the water, and I was taking pictures of people, going in the water. I wanted to put this one photograph that was just perfect, with a painting from that photograph. Found out the possibility of doing this, took a photograph of the painting from the photograph, and then put that up in Photoshop, spent about a year and a half, 2 years messing with it in Photoshop, doing all kinds of stuff to translate it into a digital image. That went to Archaic, which is this company in Boston that actually composed the tile sets. They translated it into tile. So the line goes from photograph to painting to a bunch of drawings. Actually, this photograph, a bunch of drawings, painting, digital image with 100 iterations down to the tile map to the tile itself. So we're a long way from the first iteration, but we'll see. I mean, so far, I'm really happy about this. The color looks good. The guy's doing a fine job. I wish it was farther along, but here we are. So this is being